Oh, the race kills my channel, but I love the race. I'm not missing it.
Watched so much of the race that I now hear you and Alex during my FF farm runs.
Can you believe we got kicked off the cast because we'd been casting for 9 hours and 45 minutes and me and Alex were still fucking fired up and Sam just went, will you guys go to bed? We got kicked off. He came in and he went, you're done. You two are done. Get out of here. Go to bed. We were like, oh, man. Man. It's like, you're nearly 10 hours deep, boys. It's time to go.
31 months. Aloo.
There it is. Signed by the squad. Another one for the collection. You know the players don't want to sign these anymore? It's inefficient in their eyes. They min-max the displays. The players don't sign them anymore. Because they've done this. The players don't sign them anymore. The fuck is that, man? The fuck is that? The fuck? The fuck? Cial and Turtle, thank you so much. Oh. I can't believe there's no wow emote sound effects already.
Poggers.
Wow.
Thanks for all the fun times and awesome job at the race less than 3.
I hope you enjoyed it. It was probably the best race of all time.
You're giving me a melon full of beans.
I think it's easy to say it was the best race of all time. It was phenomenal. Obviously, I was devastated for the boys.
Home run Takeshi here.
But fuck me, did we get some good shit out of it. I was devoed for the boys, but I was like, it was also fucking so good. It was so good. So good.
Butts.
Butts indeed. The race itself was great. Yeah, I mean, I was amazed Echo let everybody stay. They were supposed to close the watch party at 9 o'clock, and I think the universal agreement was, please don't make us leave. They might kill it in a minute. Please don't make us leave.
Excellent job at the race to world first, but when's Zhao?
Zhao is soon, actually. Zhao is very, very soon. Very, very soon. Oh, emotes.
18 months of this clown, but a really enjoyable 18 months as well. Echo Guild, Echo Love.
Yep. The sponsors probably love the one. I mean, for Echo, who does, you know, is a small, very small company, certainly comparative to Team Liquid, I think they paid for the next 2 races. Like, from the business side,
Takeshi here. I enjoyed casting all the kills during the race to world first.
I didn't cast a single kill. Not one. I didn't cast a single fucking kill.
Cast in the bag. Wow.
Not one fucking kill. I didn't cast a single one. I saw 0 mythic kills. Not fucking one, man. Unbelievable.
Wow.
I didn't get a single one. Wow. Yeah, not one single kill. I didn't get anything. I didn't get one. I didn't get any of the shitter bosses. I didn't get Forge Weaver. I didn't get Nexus King. Obviously, I didn't get Demencius. Oh, Tettles, man. What was the... I mean, I can't even imagine what it was also like on your side, Tettles. Because it must have been the same as us. Like, just glaring at the leaderboard. Just glaring at the fucking leaderboard like, oh my god, it's any second. It was so Farak. It was a total repeat of Farak, man. We were just... I was casting the Demencius .2... I felt bad. You know what I really felt bad for? Alex. Alex casted the kill twice, and we never got the kill. Because we were talking about, like, how do we want to do this? I'm like, Alex, it's, you know, you got to bring this fucking boat in, dude. You've got to bring this boat home, and I'll pick it up afterwards during the celebrations. And Alex casted the fucking Demencius kill twice. He was like, you son of a bitch. You son of a fucking bitch. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 0.28%. Like 3 globals. That was it. They were 3 global cooldowns away from killing the fucking boss. Unbelievable. Outrageous. Thank God.
I knew the boys were full screwed when you were on late at night at their best pulls. Can't kill a boss when you are on the couch. You ruined it. Ruiner.
Is it my fault?
Welcome home and G's on an amazing casting week.
It can't be my fault, man. It can't be my fault. I can't be the curse. I've been there for lots of the kills, man. I'm not the curse. I think the Quet is cursed. The Quet needs cleaning. The Quet has not brought the good luck that we wanted. Not enough crit GG. I mean, it really was down to that. It was down to like a couple of crits would have taken them over the edge. Unreal.
Did you actually cast any kills?
No, I casted 0 kills. I didn't see a single mythic boss die. Not one. I didn't even get to cast the reclear because I was at Gamescom casting for Blizzard. So I didn't even see the second kills, man. I saw 0 mythic boss kills. Literal 0.
I'm actually impressed about the lack of goon cocoons there. I was 0.28% close to making a cocoon Mencius emote.
Yeah. No goon cocoon. You should know. You're one of the mods.
RWF and the charity too. Amazing race. Devastating back-to-back sub 1% wipes, but amazing finale.
Yeah, and the boys were tired by that point. They were like 15 hours deep, and they got that second wind. And from what I know, like Liquid went into their little bit of a slump, because that's what happens at that sort of tension level. Is you have a high and a slump, and they were totally offset.
Not won since he started casting.
Yeah, Medics kind of fucked it. Yeah. I mean, if you kept up with Discord chat, Chris, you'd know what's going on. Do you know what I mean? 0.28% is WoW's 2404. 0.28% is going to live on in memory for a long fucking time. A long time.
Good morning. Welcome back. Heartbroken for Echo, but what a race.
Right? It was really awkward. Like, after Liquid won, the guys took a break. And I was like, I can't go out there. Because what a fucking race. And it was, like, I obviously am absolutely gutted for the boys. Absolutely gutted. But at the same time, I'm like, this is like the best race of all time. This is fucking dope. This is so good. I have no clue how Blizzard made Dimensius that well tuned. That is absurd. They never changed that boss. I told Ian several times, don't nerf this fucking boss. And he just looked at me.
So
he's like,
confirmed.
I was like, please don't nerf the boss. Please. Please don't nerf the boss. And he was like, all right. Because the race was going a little long.
The real curse breaker.
The Swedish pizza, gross.
Was also on the talk about how the pizza buff really does work.
Well, Razageth was full scam, so yeah. I mean, this fight was very heavily inspired by Razageth, that was clear. But it was like Razageth done right, I would say. Razageth done right. Because when I saw the encroaching room in PE3, I was like, this is very Razageth, the pushback and all that kind of stuff, but done correctly. My worry was, is Liquid won again, it'd become boring. It's only boring, like last time, if the end of the race is flaccid, right? It's whiskey dick raiding. I think you guys well know how upset I was about Gallywix. Like, whiskey dick racing is just so bad for the audience and just shit and just crushes my soul, because it's like one of the things that could put the race at risk of being interesting. But this... I don't know what the viewership was. I haven't seen the stats yet. I know it was like 110k on our channel, and I think like 90 odd on Liquid's. I think this surpassed a Methuzahla in overall viewership. Yeah, it was like 200k concurrent viewers at the end. Yeah, so a Methuzahla all told was 250, I think. 250. I haven't seen any of the stats yet. But, yeah, it was fucking wild. Like, the end of that race was wild. Especially because the race has so many splits. It's so rude for the audience. Like, when's the race starting? It's like 5 days later or whatever. Yeah, including, like, with Max's stuff. I haven't seen any of the stats yet. I've been looking forward to it because I think word spread so quickly.
23 months. Those 2 back-to-back Sub-Zero wipes were butt-clenching.
Exhausting. I was on the floor. Like, I'm glad the caster cam wasn't on. I was, like, on my fucking knees, like, holding the table. Because, like I said, I was going to pick it up after the kill to take the boys home. I never saw the achievement pop. Because the way Dimensius works, if the POV of someone dies, the screen goes black. So you don't know if it's dead. And Alex is doing his thing, and I'm like, I don't see an achievement. I don't see an achievement. And I can't send the, like, celebratory shit because I don't know if it's dead or not. And all I could see at the bottom of the bar was, like, 1%, 0.5. And I'm like, I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's dead. And then the screen came back after they faded to black. And it was not dead. And I'm like... Because even the players, like, who had died... I think we were on Gub's POV. Gub was convinced we'd killed it. He's like...
Barry.
He's like this, and I'm like, I don't think it's there.
Are you there?
I don't think it's fucking there. I just don't think so. It was crazy. It was absolutely wild to be in that room. And then they did it again to us on the next pull. Fucking brutal. Absolutely brutal. Yeah, you can average it out because I think most people are dual monitoring at that point. Let me just mute TTS for a sec. There's a lot coming in here. Thank you so much, Marty. Thank you, Aldrin. I'm just muting TTS for a sec. Banger set of trials. Yeah, Gub was the one who stood out for me the most. Suri, we expected to be fantastic. Obviously got a history with Liquid. We didn't watch a lot of Spen because we didn't like his UI. Shamili only came in at the end and we didn't have his POV on the mainstream. So, yeah, we didn't watch a lot of Spen. We didn't like his UI. He's got, like, Perfecto-style UI, where if we're on Perfecto's POV, I just want to die, because it's just the worst UI of all time. Full rogue UI that makes no fucking sense whatsoever. So we skipped over that angle to get away from it. Yeah, we didn't like Spen's UI. I watched a lot of Gub. Was absolutely fun. His Fortnite background, as much as people were memeing it, because he's a Fortnite pro and he's played in arenas and stuff. I had a nice beer with him. Not last night, the night before at the after party. I had a good beer with him and a chat, and he was like, "Yeah, I was kind of the stress of it all didn't bother me too much. Like that was fine because he's played in front of like live in front of tens of thousands of people, you know, in a stadium." So he's like, yeah, like the stress of it didn't get to me. I was very chill, very relaxed, and it showed. Yeah, it really, really showed. There was a trial, and I really feel bad about this. I can't remember his name, who never even saw a mythic boss. And I feel really bad because Scripe, I had a nice talk with Scripe after. It was like, yeah, there's some trials who never... Verb didn't get a mythic boss. Jockey, I don't think got any mythic play. Their class just wasn't relevant. Hopeful. Oh my god. The united memes from Liquid and Echo against Hopeful. We just need some player to do something like that every single race, so it just becomes the target of everybody. There's no, like, animosity between the guilds if we could all bully Hopeful. Yeah, we did send Narco. Benching Revez. That made me sad when Revez was out. I was like, man, Revez is out? Fuck, dude. He's such a fucking rock. Such a rock. Losing Revez. I was like, you just want him in, but he's a warrior specialist. What are you going to do? You just don't need the warrior, right? So it's like, dropping Revez was so sad. So sad. I was like, shit, dude. They were missing his execute. Not really. He was like, that fight was so well... It was artistic to me. I tried to explain it, and I did see that some people on the competitive WoW picked up on what I was saying of how delicately controlled that fight was. The Dimensius fight. It was, for a nerd like me, it was poetry how that boss was designed. It was very cleverly done. Really cleverly done. Like, every 10 seconds have been so carefully considered, practiced, thought through. It was really nice. It was really nice. Too much geometry in the final phase, but it all worked out so beautifully when it went right. It was so beautifully. When you had to slide, when you had to run against it, when the combat res timers came back, how the damage profiles lined up really nicely to be just so you could just get through it without using cooldowns, so you could have that Bloodlust. The Bloodlust weaken phase, which is required... Won't be in the future, but is required, forcing you to do that hard P1. I don't know what mad genius came up with that. I suspect I know who made it. I suspect I know who was the driving force behind it, but I'm not... it's not confirmed who it was, but somebody was very happy. The timings were... Precise is the great word. Yeah, the timings were absolutely precise, because they used a lot of trickery to ensure... specific timers, like a hard enrage on P1, which then led to another enrage with how it works with the knockback in P2, so they could make sure that the players had to hit these checkpoints, which then lined up with other timers. And specifically the minutes for DPS cooldowns. Really fucking wonderful. Oh, it's post-race fun, where some of you now have suspicious user messages because you tried to talk like you're in my chat in the Echo chat, and now you've been flagged. Oh, I forget this after the race, where some of you are now getting fucking flagged for being dirtbags. Probably goon cocooners, eh? Probably goon cocooners. No, you're alright, Ziggs. Did I talk to Ian? I talked to Ian a hell of a lot this time around because Gamescom was on. Our interview isn't out yet. Chris is going to be working on it. I did have an interview with Ian. I suspect, though, unlike most of them, there's nothing super new in there that you won't already know. So I don't think there'll be anything mega in there. I'm not sure. Chris is going through it to get some stuff there. But Ian was really nice because we had to go to some weird business center in Gamescom. And Ian saw me and he wanted to talk about the race. So Ian came out and chatted with us for about 15 minutes off record to talk about the race because the interview can't talk about the race. So Ian was like, I've been watching it all morning. I was watching you just a few hours ago because I did the morning shift before I had to go to Gamescom. I was like, I've been watching it all fucking morning, like watching the progress, see where the boys are at. Like, he's so into it. And he said it was, and then obviously I did my interview with Ian, the official interview. And then he came to the venue and I was in the gym at the time when he came in. I was running and he gave me the wave. And when we were talking about who's going to be on the couch with him, I was like, oh, I got a lot of time with Ian. So Alex is great. Alex has met Ian a long time ago. Jordan would be the way. And when they came out of Ian being on the Echo couch, and how good it was of Ian to come to Echo. Because I knew he wanted to. He's such a race fan, right? He's a boss designer. Before he became director, he designed a lot of raid bosses. So he loves raiding so much. But the fear was that if Dimensius was still alive, could he come to the Echo venue? Right? That's the thing. Because can you imagine if Ian showed up and then they killed Dimensius an hour later? The Americans would be like full tinfoil on the whole thing. They would be full tinfoil on that. If Ian rocks up and then Echo fucking kills it, they would have been like, whoa, that's fucking sus. Although Ian would never, ever, ever do anything like that, right? And I also said to Roger, when he's here, I don't think he's going to come if it's not dead. And Roger's like, why? I was like, Roger, let's just theorize that either Dimensius does something fucky, right? This is before we got to Dimensius. If Dimensius does something fucky, or Liquid's doing something you're not happy about, are you going to be able to restrain yourself from going to Ian and saying something? And he's looking at me like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the situation. But thankfully, it all worked out absolutely perfectly. They were just in mid-prog. Everything was going well. But Alex said to me, he's like, yeah, we were talking to Ian. He didn't have much time because he had to get back to Gamescom for a stage thing with Mr. GM. He said he was talking to them, but then they got their first enrage pull, I think, while Ian was there. And he said you could just see Ian's face going, yeah, Alex, that's really interesting. And just like drifting away to just watch what was going on the screen. Like, well, it's he was so into it. I was like, I'd love to have got on the couch with him, but I get a lot of time with Ian. Like, I'm very lucky in that regard. Because I was like, I don't even want to ask him questions. I want him to cast. You know, and then we can ask stuff as it's going, right? I was like, I just want to cast. I want to cast with Ian and see what he thinks. And see how it's going. Because it was not an interview. It was just him wanting to be there and see it. Well, just talk about like the race and classes because he's old school as fuck. Like Ian's been around since vanilla. Like he's old school. He knows what's going on. The phase 3 is victory lap. It was a real genuine fear because Dimensius Normal and Heroic is kind of like compared to like Ansarek or something, or Ansarek or Farak Heroic, even going all the way to like Blackhand Heroic and Archimond Heroic. Wasn't too bad. It was kind of fine. Like, we were like, huh, this is really kind of forgiving. Like, Nexus King was more unforgiving than Dimensius was on Normal and Heroic. So we were like, Nexus King turned out to be okay. We all hoped for a lot more from Nexus King, but yeah, Nexus King was all right. Yeah. I could tell. I think after the... I know I got a lot of feedback from this in one of the WoW forums. Is we did like 5 polls on Nexus King, and I was like, all right. It's not quite what we... You could just tell it wasn't quite what we thought it was going to be. It wasn't going to be like Tindril, right? It wasn't going to be Tindril levels. The lasers just being like you're either in or out was a big disappointment. We thought they were going to be like, it's basically based on PTR footage, that they were going to be like player controlled, so it'd be much more like Eden Savage. But yeah, it was just you're either in or out. And that was it. That was the thing. Did the boys should have called it sooner after Liquid killed it? Yes. I mean, we were saying that on the cast. It's like they should go to bed because they went on a string of like ridiculous wipes. Like people who never die in that fight under any circumstances were dying really, really quickly in weird spots for the next like hour. I actually don't know how they played after that. Obviously, they didn't kill it because they eventually went to bed and just came in and killed it within an hour the next day. But yeah, I think they should have gone to bed then. They were already hyper exhausted by the time Liquid killed it. Because that was like, I think it was like hour 15 or hour 16 or something like that. I know it was 2 a.m. our time. It was like 2 a.m. German time. They were like kind of fucked by that point. And then Liquid killed it. They were obviously feeling like absolutely devastated and crushed, right? Obviously. And I understood why they pushed. They did not want to come back and raid the next day. They don't care about getting second or third. It's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But they just did not want to turn up and raid again the next day. And they were so close to killing it. So they were like, let's just try and push it. I mean, they took a vote. They weren't forced to play or anything. They like discussed it amongst themselves and were like, we're going to keep pulling. And I was like, okay, maybe they'll kill it quickly. And then we casted like 45 minutes and they were having some really horrible wipes. So I was like, they should go to bed. And that's when we got kicked off. That's when production was like, you guys are done. You've been here for 9.5 hours. Go get some sleep. Shout outs to Jordan and Jesse who left immediately as Liquid killed it. They just left the building because they agreed to do the morning of whatever we were going to do on the next day. And then Jordan just said she went home. She went back to the hotel and just watched the stream anyway and didn't sleep till like 5 a.m. But Jesse and Jordan just left. All the casters were in the building. That's why Cruella joined us on the couch afterwards, which was really sick. It was good stuff. Displays to the wall, medium or large? Those are large, brother. Those are large ones. This is a medium. Where is it? That's a medium. You can see. Smidgeroo. And the ones on the wall are largies. So these are mediums. I would have loved to see, was it Hot Pot Heroes get third? I need to check what happened in the Asia. We got like a report, but this might be like fake news misinformation, that they got like an item level buff on the second week or something. Like they just raised the item level over there or something. Did you see S-Fand and Annie? I saw S-Fand a lot. I saw Annie, a few times, but we didn't get to spend any time together. Like, we'd been texting back and forth about meeting up and doing some stream or whatever before the race. But it turned out it didn't line up. I believe I only found out later that S-Fand, Zico, Annie, Nagura, and Makes were at the venue. They were there on the night Liquid killed it. They were there, but because there was like a lot of people floating around, the amount of people, because Gamescom was going on, who were like trying to get to the venue, is they just asked them to stay downstairs. So they weren't on the gaming floor. So they asked them to stay downstairs, and they'd left by the time I'd finished. Yeah, Zico. Shoujo, my brother, thank you for the subs, man. Thank you, brother. And thank you all for obviously the sheer generosity of this community during the race. Like, it was very clear. Takeshi was quite the hero. Thank you so much, Shoujo. Thank you. Cruella was also this race, really stepped up her Bantz game. Yeah, Cruella was, I had a long few talks with Cruella. She's really just a sponge. She wants to learn. She wants to get better, and she has got better. She was much more comfortable. It was kind of interesting. I was talking to some of the Method representatives who were at... I went to a Blizzard party. A Blizzard party thing. At Gamescom. It was like after hours. We had like an after hours Blizzard party. And somebody was there from the Method representatives, and we were talking about Cruella. And it was like, yeah, like Cruella would come and she would raid and she'd just sit in a blanket and she was kind of quiet and like, you know, she just got on with her game and she was always cold. So she just sat in a blanket and just played, but wouldn't really speak up or anything. I was like, well, that's not Cruella now. That's not Cruella now. That ain't that. After her first tier with us, like she got going after like 4 or 5 days, and now she's so comfortable with everybody that we rapped. Like we literally did a rap. Yeah, we literally did a rap. Welcome back, it was Grace. Yeah, the team and JB as well, right? JB, I was so happy to have JB back. I thought he gave us that dynamic that team probably needed. That really, because we're also very energetic. Although we bring different dynamics to the team, JB's dry, just malicious delivery of his comments, I was so happy to have him back. Because I missed that, because I casted with JB a lot in the past. And he just comes in and he's like, well, you just know when you hear that, well, like you're just going to get some absolute acidic vitriol in a really nice, just dry way. Like, it's so good. Yeah, it's so, so good. The JB tweet section, I actually felt disappointed in that because we unlocked the JB tweets, which was really funny. Like, when it started coming out, I thought I was just sat on the couch. It wasn't planned or anything, but when it started happening, I was like, this is clearly a good donation goal. The problem was, they went through his tweets, and the really spicy ones were way too spicy to be on the stream. Way too spicy. So they had to find a middle ground of ones that were, like, accessible to the stream. But we couldn't go, like, into the really hardcore shit. And what was funny is we went on a break while Medic already went through his Twitter and found, like, a selection of them. We went on a break. JB grabs his phone and is walking up and down the corridors looking at his phone. I'm pretty sure he was trying to delete any tweets that might show up on the thing. And then Medic goes, I've already got them, JB. I've already got them. And he was like, oh my God. Fuck. Medic was on the case, like finding them all. He went back like 5 years so quickly. He did immediate research on the whole thing. How do I feel about how Echo did? First week, I definitely think Echo was the best they've ever been. I think they were dominant that first week. I certainly think Echo played a lot better than Liquid first week. Second week, I think they were just dead even. Like, absolutely dead even. Like, Liquid locked the fuck in and gamed their asses off. And I don't think there was 0.28% separating those two in that second week. 0.28% was separating, or 0.26 or whatever. It was insanely evenly matched. Insanely evenly matched in the second week. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, their reclear was fantastic. The only downside Echo really spoke of to me, I kind of see their point, was that they felt like they had to throw a lot of hours away on Nexus King because it was unkillable. They could have been on Dementius and blah, 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 blah. But Scripe said, that sucks. It was shit for us. But also, like, second week is all that matters anyway. That was the only, like, thing that got brought up, is, like, we had to throw away a lot of hours on an unkillable boss. It was, like, 6 hours or something like that. So, I mean, it wasn't a huge thing. I don't think it was here or there. I don't give much to it. Echo can't win if they're even. They can with the adjusted schedule. Like, obviously the race not starting at the same time sucks, but like if they're planning for it, it's not too bad. As long as the last boss is hard. Echo does need the last boss to be hard to really get going, but other than that, it's fine. I would love to be able to check some clips, but considering we're going through telephone internet here, I can't even really open a web page on my side right now. I'm surprised the stream is even up. Echo needs Liquid not to play well. I don't think so. Like, it was a coin toss. I don't think that's true at all. I think if Liquid and Echo are pretty evenly matched, which they were, at this point, those teams are both so fucking good, it comes down to a coin flip. The ending of this race was a fucking coin flip. If they're both playing together and they're managing their sleep schedule to kind of match Liquid, it gets to a coin flip. It really does. It gets to a coin flip. So, yeah, I don't really agree with that. What was the sentiment from Echo after they failed third race in a row? They didn't care about that. Like, I can never stress enough, as much as like a lot of the diehard Liquid guys think I'm lying. They really didn't seem to give a shit at all in any way about Gallywix, that race. They didn't care. They were like, the last boss was shit. We were going to do that. We're going to go to sleep then anyway. Like, obviously, there's a presumption the last boss will be hard, and we'll have several days. But yeah, after the 3 races in a row, that didn't come up as a topic of conversation at all. It's still brilliant for Liquid to achieve that. I think it was more important to Liquid to cement that clean sweep. That I would have, if it was the opposite way around, we would have absolutely made it a big deal on the Echo side. For Echo themselves, they didn't care too much about Undermine. This time around, though, having, like, in my opinion, like the hardest boss ever made of the modern era, I think it surpasses Ansarek and Farak. I think the whole design of that fight is so gorgeous. Like, they wanted that win, for sure. They wanted that win. Thoughts on the Midnight rates being smaller? I don't know what the Race to World First looks like in Midnight at all. It came up a couple of times off camera with the like production team and the organizers of the Echo race. And my answer was, I'm just glad I'm not dealing with whatever Blizzard's doing over there. Because I don't know what that looks like. I have no idea. Can you have a Race to World First where you like race for like 6 days and then what? We just have like a break for like a week and then a race again on 2 bosses. And also the fear, 2 boss raids might be dead before our server resets. That's happened before. You think of things like Halion and things like that where you've got these very small raids. Like, there's a real potential there that Liquid would kill it before the servers even reset for EU. And it's like, well, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, this is just shit, right? Yeah, absolutely shit. Yeah, exactly. Like, I have no idea what the race to world... And I think it's... Obviously, selfishly, for race purposes, I prefer it to just be one big race. Because we don't even get that many bosses. 9... What is it? 8 total? Or 9 total? It's a 6, a 1, and a 2. Yeah, so it's 9. So there's got to be 7 bosses when the raid releases, which isn't a lot. So that's a short race, generally speaking, right? Historically. And then a gap, and then 2 bosses. So I kind of think the next Race to World First might be just at home angle. Yeah. No, the race shouldn't dictate it, but that's like saying the sky should be blue. Yeah, of course. But, like, we're asking about what the race looks like, right? Blizzard should do whatever they think's best for the game, obviously. But from a race standpoint, yeah, I don't know what it looks like. It might just be a stay at home. We'll see how it goes. Offline situation. Maybe some of the players getting together or something. Yeah, exactly. Release Mythic at the same time. I don't know. It's not my problem. I know that's a get out of jail, but it's really not my problem. I know they're looking for community feedback. If the community widespread would prefer it to all be out, then maybe that changes. But I don't think they do. I don't think the community fucking cares. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, if anything, this race reaffirms how many people love the race when the race is good. It was really interesting because Danny, the CCO of Echo, had to go to like a conference in Riyadh. He sent us pictures because he went to like one of the Team Liquid meetings and they had Echo on the stream because Liquid was sleeping. And he went into a different place and they were watching the race. He was like, he sent us these pictures. He was going into different meetings and they were watching the race. It was like, what's going on? It's because World of Warcraft at one point had like fucking 13 million players. Like, there are people who are all grown up and in business suits and all that who were WoW players who still follow the race. Because you don't need to still play to even enjoy the race. And he said it was just amazing. He didn't know it went like that. I was like, of course it goes like that. There are people doing all kinds of shit who haven't touched World of Warcraft in fucking years who check in for the race and see what's going on. Yeah, exactly, Big Waldo. So week 1, no raids. Week 2, you got Voidspire and Dream Rift with normal and heroic. Week 3, Voidspire and Dream Rift mythic and the Race to World First. Week 4, 5, Asterisk, March on Keldon Ass. It's unclear whether it will get a heroic week or not, but most likely won't. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what Blizzard finally lands on, because it's not even set in stone. No one cares about the race. They only care about seeing your disembodied head in a toilet and Takeshi memes. How the fuck? I actually felt so proud of you guys, my regular community, who were so devastated that you couldn't get Goon going, and you like actively as a community transitioned everybody to Takeshi, and even though tens of thousands of people had no idea what Takeshi was, they were like, I could get on board with this. I'm in. Like, it didn't need any context. They were like, oh, everybody's a Takeshi. And they just bought into it. They were like, yeah, okay, we're going to be part of the Takeshi-verse. We are Leech. I can't believe it. It was like you cycled through our community memes. And you're like, well, that doesn't work because it's too degenerate. And you landed on Takeshi. It was like, well, we can push Takeshi. Takeshi works. And then by the end of it, there was Takeshis everywhere. Cruella's stream is now filled with Takeshis. French Takeshis. All over the place. Takeshi made so much bank. I got a message saying this was before the final charity push, which was the last 2 days, that 169 of the individual donations were all Takeshis. They'd like searched. I don't know what the final number is because we raised $20,000 in the last 2 days, I think. Yeah, because that's when the beard thing came out. So I think we were at 28,000 and finished on 52 in the last 2 days. And a lot of them were Takeshis. As Roger posted his picture, Roger shaved his beard. I saw it yesterday morning. Roger has shaved his beard. He went from 28k to 52 in the 2 days. And it didn't even require me to get electrocuted again, which was great. The Takeshi meme was top tier because people didn't need to understand the lore behind it. They just were like, I get this. It's something with Takeshi in it. And Jordan genuinely thought that Takeshi was somebody from my chat. That was her assumption after a few days of being Takeshi'd. She was like, who is Takeshi? And I was like, it's hard to explain. It's like, so he's not just somebody in your chat. It's not just a guy called Takeshi in your chat. And I'm like, no. No, that's not it. And she's like, oh. She's trying to figure out, is she wrong? I mean, yeah, a little bit. Highlights of the race to me. Forge Weaver in general was like my favorite boss outside of Dimensius. Forge Weaver was great. I have to say, though, and this will be biased, obviously, that Echo's Fractilus bullshit actually worked. Because I also think that completely threw Blizzard for a fucking loop. I cannot fucking believe that shit worked. I'm not joking. I got there on the Sunday. The show begins like Tuesday afternoon with a pre-show and then Wednesday. I land there Sunday morning. Me and Chris got there like 8 a.m. Sunday. By midday, I had been told 20 times about the Fractilus strat. And no, do not mention it to anybody. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm giving the usuals, like, do you think Liquid doesn't know this? Like, they're as good as you guys. They don't know this. And I'm like, they definitely do. Like, every time there's some sneaky fucking strat they've got or something like that, they're like, I'm always of the opinion, Liquid is so good, and they have a team equal to, like, the Echo team. It's like, they know what it is. And like, they don't know this. They don't. And then, somebody who shall remain unnamed who did this, who figured out this shit, was like, if they know this, then somebody's leaked it. I'm sure of it. I'm fucking sure of it. If they know this or they have this, then they've leaked it. Yeah, Max admitted it. They didn't have it. But I'm always working on the assumption that if Echo's figured something out, Liquid's figured something out. As on very rare occasions, there's little things, but like if it's something grandiose like an entire strat, then I'm like, there's no way. Like, One-Arm Bandit would be an example. Like, Echo was really convinced their One-Arm Bandit ordering was, like, Giga Brain, and then Liquid just did the same thing. One-Arm Bandit. Echo was, like, really convinced that their ordering of the phases was really Giga Brain, and then, without ever seeing what Echo did, Liquid just did the same thing. I'm like, yeah, of course they did. They figured the fucking thing out. But yeah, the Fractilus was a highlight, because although it was very copium from the analysis, the analysts, I think I talked about it on the cast as well, is just as we were getting to Fractilus, somebody comes to me and goes, Mike, I'm just telling you there's a non-zero chance we kill this in 3 pulls. Bro, no. I'm sure whatever you've got worked out is phenomenal, but, like, no. That's not going to happen. And it didn't happen. I was like, 3 pulls is like at least sub 10. I'm like, no. No, that's not going to happen. It's still got a really meaty DPS check. It still needs a lot of healing and a lot of position. Who was it? I'm not telling you. Because, yeah, that I will keep secret. I did see how it was done, though. That was cool. I got to see the program that was written to figure it out. I think it was like 13 billion wall combinations. Like, watching it work it all out was really cool. They showed me the tech behind it. It was really cool. Do you think a global release Echo wins here? Don't know. I think both teams are even. Ultimately, I don't think there's any argument. Here's the thing, because obviously global release gets talked about all the time. It's a race. A race should start at the same time. That's just like a thing, right? But it doesn't. And we all accept that, and we've accepted that for years. And that's where we get into the minutiae of like pros and cons, the advantage swings, and does all that. We do all this bullshit. But ultimately, like, it comes down to, like, the beginning foundation is it'd be nice if the race started at the same time. Blizzard's not going to change it, though. So it's, honestly, the global release thing for me is like a non-issue. Because we can't do anything about it. Right? The only thing that could possibly happen at this point is Echo moves to North America. Which I don't think Echo can even financially risk running a race to world first where they take all their players, or at least the ones they want, to North America, make North American characters, get North American gold, and they simply can't get people for splits. And it's just dead before it begins. I don't think they can even financially risk that. That's an enormous gamble to take, is that they ship everybody over, they make all NA accounts, they make it, I mean, physically they can remain in Europe and have everybody with weird ping. There's a few American players or North American players on Echo, but the fact that they, I mean, we kind of ran, apparently this is the first time we ever ran dry on helpers for splits because Method were paying more gold than Echo were. And towards the end, they were like, we're running out of people because it took like nearly 3,000 helpers to help with splits for Echo alone, let alone Method. And that's only 2 guilds utilizing all of Europe. It was like 3,000 helpers. It's a lot of fucking people who need to be awake at like 5 a.m. or whatever to get shit going. It's a huge, enormous risk. So I think at this point, it's just fucked. Only Blizzard can fix it. They're not going to fix it, so it's a big mighty poop. How do you think the expansion has gone for Echo now it's over? I feel like this tier expansion so far Echo showed up. Echo went through a lot of issues. Some of them you guys don't know about. Personal issues with individuals that were really devastating to some of the players of Echo. But that's not for me to say or for anyone else. They lost a lot of good players. And now they managed to... I mean, they came into this tier with 9 trials and played better than I've ever seen them... that I've seen them play the entire last expansion. I think they finished on a high. They didn't get the win, but they still finished on a high. And I said this to the boys. I bought them all a beer. Not last night, the night before. I bought them all a beer. And I was like, you guys should be fucking so proud of yourselves. Because coming into this race, there were lots of, especially like the diehard NA fans calling you washed. You've lost this, this, and this. You know, you're fucking done. You're going to be forever second or whatever. And they showed the fuck up and it came down to a coin flip. And for those trials who have never been in the spotlight or been in a world first situation, they're going to be so much stronger next tier. So I am, as much as obviously losing sucks, I'm so fucking proud of what they did. Like, I really am. And I don't think anybody could look at them and think, like, you didn't show the fuck up and you didn't do what needed to be done here, because you absolutely did. You absolutely did. By all weights and metrics, they should have lost pretty hard. They should have. They should have lost pretty fucking hard. But what was going on... The change of focus internally at Echo, which was more for a similar mentality from across the team, has served them very well, is what I would say. They definitely had some conflicts with players who've left now about how things were run and operated, and they've seemed to have got everybody onto the same page, and that's worked out far better. It was interesting. They had some friction amongst the team. Which boss was it? Oh, it wasn't a boss. It was the splits. Yeah, there was some friction amongst the team on the second day of week 1. Because splits are now done with like a bunch of normals that then feeds into heroics, that's like a set block of time, right? Because you need the same players, the same helpers. So you have all these helpers who do 6 normals, and then that filters down into 2 very strong heroic groups. So that requires a set block of time. And it got to, like, I can't remember what time it was. Maybe, like, 8 p.m., 7:30 p.m., something like that. Which would have meant they would have to push further to finish another round of splits. And so they decided to go to bed instead and start early again the next day to do the next splits. But there was nobody available, really, or there wasn't enough helpers available day 2 to fill out the 6 normals. So they were delayed by an hour. And the team wasn't happy. They were like, not only did we go to bed early, but we've now got up early and now we can't get this ball rolling. And it's taken us an hour. Not like an hour is a really long time, but if you lose an hour the day before and lose an hour the next day, it starts adding up. But you know what they did, which was really cool? They sat down at breakfast and they talked it out. And that's kind of what they did, is they're like, okay, let's talk this out and make sure we're all... What do we want to do in the future if this happens? Would you prefer to do this? What's the gamble you should take? And they got that friction cleaned up really fast. Really, really fast. They were like, let's not sit on this and dwell on it and be like, oh, we should have fucking done... Should have done my idea. Should have done this, this, and this. They just sorted it out and got back to gaming. And it was brilliant. It was so good. And nobody, I think, brought it up again and made a fuss out of it. And was like, well, you remember when we did this the other day? You know, that kind of fucking poison? That was not a non-thing. If they decide to go start later, they decided if it gets to this, like, next time, they'll just go a bit later and start a little later. Like, only the real diehards are waiting to raid and get no loot at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. Right? Let's be clear on this. That's the serious nerds who are waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning at server reset to go and raid in splits where they get no loot and get gold, right? That's some real diehards. Doing it 2 days in a row, especially when there's another guild all also doing the same thing and paying more, that's difficult because you're looking for the real Echo fans to chip in. So it made sense. Let's go a little later, start a little later. And then we had that period of time to push our time back, which was really hard on the team and the casters in case nerfs were coming in, right? In fact, that kind of fucks us up because that Soul Hunters nerf was about 10 p.m. And we were like, wait, if they changed it again, because the nerfs were always at 7 p.m. for the last 2 tiers. I'm like, wait, if they fucking changed it again, because they nerfed Soul Hunters at 10 p.m. Why? Why did they do that? Why did they do it at 10 p.m.? Because that's not when it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be at 7 p.m. Why is it at 10 p.m. now? Because that means changing the raid times way, way fucking more, dude. Way, way more. Why does a couple of hours the first week matter? For player mentality. If the players are in place and ready to game, then they should be gaming. Otherwise, they get bored. They lose interest. They start browsing things. Your mind's out of it. Oh, thank you, Credible. Appreciate that, buddy. You saw me on the WoWcast. I have no idea how that WoWcast went because I got no feedback. I asked for feedback and everyone was just like, it went well. But that's literally it. That's literally it. I did that all day and I was like, I don't know how this goes. And also I had to leave immediately. The second they were like off camera, I had to get back to the venue and cast again. So I was in a taxi and out the door. But I think I did a good job. I had to be a little bit more... I have like 3 levels now. There's like me on my own stream, me on the Echo stream, which is toned down, and then me on like a far more professional stream, where we can't do that. Have we talked with Yoshi P? No, I did not get a chance. The only time I had... he asked to talk to me, which I really fucking am touched by. And we could not make it happen, unfortunately. We could not make it happen. My schedules did not line up in any way, shape, or form to allow that to happen. But, yeah. I asked Ian if he'd spoken to him, and he went, So I don't know whether that means no, which it very well might mean no, or if Ian and Yoshi P did get to have a chat, because they were both in the same place at the same time. WoW FL14. No, they're going to shoot the shit about the future of MMOs. It's way more interesting than a crossover. Those two are guiding these enormous fucking ships of MMOs, and they are the forefront. They are the captains of those fucking ships, and they're going to talk about the future. And there's our Zoe. Sorry, Zoe. Just wasn't possible. I think next time, Zoe, I'm actually going to see if I can come to the race a day earlier so I can come and see you, legitimately. Because once that ball gets rolling, there's no getting out. Yeah, I don't care about the crossover. It's just these two. I was talking to Paul Cubit, who I assume you guys are a bit more familiar with now. But Paul's a fucking genius. He's actually the next signature on our ever-growing card there that has the best MMO designers in the world on it. I was talking to Paul for quite a lot at the WoW party. I don't know what the next big innovation of MMOs is. I suspect they're working on it, but I don't know what it is. Because all the staples are kind of done now. The only thing WoW's missing is armor dies. But other than that, what is the next big innovation? I don't know what it is. Cubit is an actual fucking genius. Cubit is a genius. And it's so nice that he's now leading up Midnight and all that kind of stuff. Really good. He made it back to my CUNY. I did. I'll tell you one thing. It's not housing. Well, housing is like the big thing for WoW. But that's also existing in other MMOs. It's like, what have other MMOs done that is so incredible that, like, in the WoW players, like, I wish we had that. There isn't much left. So we're kind of, what is the next big thing? That's the next feature that's coming. I talked to Maria about dynamic events. Dynamic events are missing. That'll be in our interview. I did talk to Maria about dynamic events. But I don't know what it is. And I was trying to get it out of him, but he wouldn't tell me. Because I have no doubt they're working on it. I was like, what do you think it is? He's like, I don't know. And then he just went, I'm just telling you it's very, very hard. It's very, very hard to figure out what it is. Very, very hard. I tried to get it out of him because obviously they are working, 2 to 3 years in advance over at Blizzard and Squeenix. So I was like, I don't know what it is. I know WoW said they don't do global release, but have they said why it is? Because it would disrupt too many of the normal player base's lives, which is a fair argument. I don't think it's that bad an idea, but I'm biased as fuck because I want the race to be a good thing. So my opinion doesn't really matter. But that's generally the response. It's like there's a routine that people have with World of Warcraft, and it's a game of habit. And changing something like that could have very negative effects on people. It's AI for sure. I don't know. I really have no idea.